and welcome back to Anne's Untitled Podcast. I'm Am. Hi, if you've never met me before, it's really nice to meet you. Welcome to my Percy Jackson dedicated podcast. In today's episode, we are wrapping up Wrath of the Triple Goddess. I am so sad that it has come to the end, and I feel like this last how many uploads have I had now for this? 2 months worth of Wrath of the Triple Goddess content. And I just can't believe how fast it's gone. Like, how are we already at the end together? Isn't that just insane? So, in today's episode, we are going to be chatting through chapters 36 to 39. So, the last four chapters in the book. And, guys, just before we move on to this, I just wanted to talk about something real quick. We got a casting announcement yesterday. You know what? I was having, I'll be honest, like a really shitty day. Um, because I've had a lot of pressure and stuff from uni and I'm still quite stressed out. So I was just a little bit upset because we haven't really had any Percy Jackson content or anything. So I was kind of upset, and obviously I was thinking about recording today's episode, which is the last installment of Wrath of the Triple Goddess. So it's just basically overall feeling very crap. And then towards the end of the evening, I got a little notification on Instagram and we had a new casting announcement. I was like, yes! It's like that is the exact pick me up that I needed to get through the week. So congratulations to Andra Day. She is going to be playing Athena. Oh my gosh. Do you know when I saw her and Leah stood next to each other, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so perfect. Like their mother and daughter, like you can just tell. Also, she is gorgeous. Like I was looking at some of her pictures and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, wow, she really does have like this divine energy about her. I really like her, and like I said, I'm so excited to see her play Athena. And also, like, I don't think Athena actually makes a cameo in the Sea of Monsters book. I read this recently, I should know. But yeah, so I'm hoping there's been some extra scenes added in. Maybe Percy might get to meet Athena a little bit early on. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited. And also, another thing that went down yesterday, before I forget to mention, D23 Brazil went down yesterday, which was awesome. I've seen snippets of the panel. I really wish I could have been there for it. It was awesome. But I was just saw a couple of pictures and a couple of clips, and you know what? Rick looks so happy, and that makes me so happy. Like he was literally beaming. I was like, oh my god, if I could not love that guy any more than I already do. He honestly, he looks so proud of our trio, and you know, this is his baby, and I can imagine like how daunting it must have been for him um to give this series another chance, and they've done such a great job, and he looks so proud, and that makes me feel so proud of this show. Also, Orca, Arian, and Leah, they look so grown up. Like honestly, like compared to like the first season, we're gonna see like them in a completely new, what's the word I'm looking for here, almost like a completely new light, which is amazing. And I'm so excited for them. And also, we know that we're already in November and they pack up end of January. And, you know, judging by how fast like this year has gone, like it's just amazing. And I know that next year is going to be such a huge thing for us Percy Jackson fans. Like I feel like this time next year, hopefully, season 2 would have been out already and we would have been talking about the episodes together and stuff. So yeah, I'm made me really excited for season 2, and it was a really nice pick me up on such a hard week for me. So Disney's timing is amazing. And yeah, like I said, I wish the entire crew the best of luck for season 2. I'm sure they're doing an amazing job out there. And Andra Day, I hope she enjoys playing Athena, because to me she's just absolutely perfect, and now I can't imagine anybody else would do a better job than her. So yeah, that all that excitement aside, let's move on to Wrath of the Triple Goddess. Okay, so chapter 36 is I Skip the Celebration. So obviously the chapter opens up with the trio and the rest of the campers in in the Halloween party, and even Hecuba, Gale, and Nope were having an amazing time, which is really nice. Like they've had like a bit of a tough journey in this book, so it's nice to see that they're sort of letting loose and relaxing a little bit. And there was this reoccurring theme that Rick put in about Percy missing. word vomit, Percy missing Mrs. O'Leary. And you know her cameo was amazing, and it was so nice to see her because she's such a good friend of Percy's. Like it was so nice to see him interact with her after so long. Yeah, that was a really nice cameo. I love that idea that Rick put in there. It was amazing. Surprisingly, there was no damage made in the party, which was good. I guess since they've spent so long trying to look after Hecate's house and bring it back to normal, it would almost be annoying if the house was a mess as well. Um, and Percy goes up and he sees Annabeth on the terrace looking over Grand Mercy Park. And there was a lovely little Percabeth quote here, which was, "We sat in silence. It was nice to be able to do that with Annabeth. We never felt the need to be witty or cool with each other. We could just be ourselves." Again, these moral lessons are just getting better and better. And I think it's this whole idea that Rick is trying to say that, you should be able to be your most authentic self around your spouse. Like, you should never feel the need to, like, be cool or, like, dim down or not be so weird. Like, you should be able to be who you are. And I like that they can both just sit in silence together. I think that there's such a power in that as well. I think it shows such a maturity level and such a comfort in their relationship that I really appreciate. Um, yeah, it was just beautiful. That quote was just beautiful. And Annabeth is feeling a little bit guilty because she nearly got them killed. He had told her that she never should have picked those torches up, and she believed that. She almost feels like it was her fault that Percy nearly got killed, which is not true. Of course, it's not true. And she didn't know that any of this was going to happen. And I know that for a fact that she would never intentionally put anyone in danger. It was just, yeah, it's that idea of her fatal flaw getting in the way. And it's so important that Rick keeps reminding us of those fatal flaws because they are such a strong part of who demigods are. And it's so nice that he keeps reminding us about that. And I think she was feeling guilty because she thought that her fatal flaw nearly cost her Percy. And, that's so like, I can't imagine like the guilt that she must be feeling. Like I said, she's not done it on purpose. She wouldn't hurt him a strand on a why can I not talk? She wouldn't hurt a strand of hair on his head. Like, even I know that, but it's just the fact that it almost happened. It was that what if that's eating her up on the inside. And a what if is so powerful. Like, even to us regular people that are day in and day out in this normal real world that we're in, um, I think we always do get taken up by what ifs, like the days when we decide to turn left instead of turn right. Like it's always that what if I did this instead sort of thing. And I think that's what's eating her alive. And he says that he tells her that she won't be getting rid of him that easily. And I truly believe that. Like they've been through Tartarus and back. Like I don't think that there's anything that they can do where they'll lose each other. Like I genuinely do believe that. And Percy's just sitting there trying to make her feel better, saying that their fatal flaws sort of balance each other out. Like obviously Annabeth's fatal flaw is pride, right? Excessive pride. And Percy's fatal flaw is personal loyalty. So they sort of cross over a little bit, and I think it's just another thing that just makes them more perfect for each other. Like I've never seen two people that I want to stay together forever more than Percy and Annabeth. Like I genuinely believe that. Um, Annabeth tells him he's a pretty smart guy. Yeah, I guess over the years of being with Annabeth, he's acquired some brain cells. I'm just kidding. I love him. I love him so much. I love the goofball that he is, and he's just the sweetest guy and the greenest flag that's ever walked, genuinely. And Percy says, it's not done yet. Like he still needs to talk to Hecate tomorrow. And the whole time I was reading that bit, I was like, please don't say anything stupid. Please don't say anything stupid. Please don't say anything stupid. But like again, I talked about this a little bit like previously when we talked about the first five books, I think, which was one thing I've noticed about Percy, and another thing that I absolutely love about him, even though it gets him in trouble, is the fact that he can't see something that's wrong and not say anything. Like he'll never just because like we're going to talk about we're going back to the first books a bit, but Luke sort of explains to him that, some gods are so busy that they don't acknowledge their children. And Percy's like, that's not right. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, you have to burn an offering to get your parents' attention, but they're your parents. Shouldn't they be listening to you anyway? And, this is another one of those things like, Hecate's not treating the people who are supposedly her family right. So Percy is going to say something because that's not right and she needs to be told. And you know what? I just love that about him. And there's not a lot of people that have the strength or the courage to do that. So I'm really proud of him for that. And it's one of the reasons why I love him so much. You know what? One thing you've noticed about me, if you've been listening to my podcast for a long time, you would know that I'm somebody who loves really honest people. Like, I don't care how much the truth hurts. Like, I would much rather somebody tell me the truth than sugarcoat me and tell me a lie. Like, I would rather know the truth, which is great. Yeah, like I said, another reason why I love him so much. And Annabeth says that she's going to stay with him when he does. See, always being there for each other, always supporting each other, no matter um the direty of the situation, you could say. And the chapter ends with him asking her if she wants to go back to the party, and she says that she's good, and they just continue sitting together. Oh, do you know what? This chapter was so cute. Like, me as a Percabeth shipper, like, I was like, oh, it's so nice for them. I think they've had a lot of chaos, so it's almost like they've found their way out of the storm, and it's just the two of them again, and they can finally relax, and I love that. Chapter 37 is I Play with Purple Fire. So Hecate arrived at 5:32 a.m. I'm sorry, does she know what time it is? Like, I know that she's immortal and she doesn't need to sleep or whatever it is, but like 5:32 in the morning. Seriously? Oh my god, when I read that, I just could not stop laughing. And obviously the trio was asleep, so Annabeth wipes her eyes and stood up. Percy got tangled in his sleeping bag and fell into the coffee table. You know what? That is such a Percy thing to do. Like, it honestly cracked me up when I read it in the book. I was just like, that's so him. Like, he gets so nervous and he gets caught up in the sleeping bag and he falls over. I think that's so funny. And Grover jumps so high into the sky like a scared cat. Yeah, also a Grover thing to do. Like, they're so themselves. It's unbelievable. Um, Gale and Hecuba greet Hecate, while Nope is still hiding behind Annabeth. Obviously, it must be quite overwhelming for him. He's never seen Hecate before. Um, Annabeth tells Hecate that Hecuba has adopted Nope, and Hecate was shocked. Hecuba was so nice. Why? What do you do? Why was Hecate so shocked that she adopted? That's a little bit rude. I thought it was a little bit passive aggressive as well, but anyway, Hecate calls Nope forward, and she says that she's happy to have him in her family, and he calls her triple mom. Isn't he just the sweetest? Like, I just love Nope. He's so cute. Oh, I love that. I love that little boy. He's so adorable. Um, Hecate asks if they've had any difficulties, and she notices an empty soda bottle. Damn you, Connor! But she says that she wasn't surprised that they had people over to celebrate her holiest night. It's okay. That was a close call, isn't it? Imagine she turned around and said, "I only knew that you threw a celebration." At least she thought that the celebration was in her honor. So I guess Annabeth was right about that. Like she said at the beginning, if anything, if they threw a party in Hecate's house, she would believe that it was in her honor. So I guess Annabeth is truly a wise girl after all. Percy tells her obviously the truth about what happened. Now, I know a lot of people would have been like, "Oh no, keep those details to yourself." But what I love about Percy is that he tells the truth, and I really appreciate that. Like I said, there's not a lot of people in this world that have the courage to do that. So that's something that I really appreciate about his character. And he tells Hecate that Gale and Hecuba need more freedom. And Hecate flips her top. I think it's because she's probably thinking, how dare this demigod make demands of one thing? But do you know what? I respect Percy's guts to tell her. And like you said, he promised to both Gale and Hecuba that he would talk Hecate into giving them more freedom. So he's basically lived up to his promise. Another reason why I love him, he lives up to his promises. He's great. Um, and this whole thing about Hecate flipping her top. Now, normally what I think about that is like if somebody flips off because you're telling them the truth about what they're doing, and you're saying that what they're doing is wrong, they tend to get defensive when they do it. So the fact that she was doing that, I think deep down I knew that, yeah, okay, yeah, she's not exact. She doesn't see what she's doing wrong. She knows that she's doing something wrong, but she's not willing to admit it. She doesn't like people pointing out a flaw. I'm sure we all know some people like that. I can think of a few people like that. Anyway, Percy tells her that he is showing her the best path. He thinks that Grover drinking the strawberry mixture was the best thing that could have happened. It forced Hecate's problems that she'd been running from to come to the surface. So, actually, Grover making that mistake not only brought development in Percy and Annabeth, but it also brought to the surface Hecate's problems. You know, like I was talking about this whole thing, I think a couple of episodes ago, where it's like everybody makes mistakes. Obviously, that's the main theme in this, and it's what you learn from those mistakes. That's what counts, not the actual mistake. And I think that by Percy giving that example, he's trying to make Hecate see sense. Oh my gosh, he's getting wiser and wiser. I must say, like, I went from reading like Wrath of the Triple Goddess, back to the first five books, and yeah, there is such a difference in his maturity level. Obviously, Percy was a lot younger and he hadn't been through so much, but yeah, I really love that about him. He's grown up so much. He's grown up so much, and this is what I love about Rick. Like he makes the writing grow with his audience, and I love that. I really respect that about him. Percy mentions Pete, and Hecate says that that wasn't her best attempt at parenting. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. He definitely had a few things against her, but you know that's what happens. You abandon your children. Like Luke basically created a whole army out of abandoned people. About why can I not talk? Luke created an entire army out of children who felt that they were neglected and abandoned by their godly parents, basically. And, you know, Percy's trying to stop Hecate from making that same mistake that she did with Pete, with Hecuba, Gale, and Nope, basically. Percy tells her that he has a request for Hecate, and she's quite surprised, let's say. And if she says that if she feels that she can honor the request, she will do it. Otherwise, she will feed them to her pet eels. Oh, fantastic! And Percy tells her his idea. And that's where the chapter ends. So, chapter 38, second to last chapter in this book, which is I accidentally liquefy my guidance counselor. So, it opens up with Percy going to speak to Eudora, and Eudora is relieved that Percy is alive. The idea must have really gone down well, basically. His suggestion to Hecate must have gone down well. And Percy shows her the recommendation letter. He has two recommendation letters now. He just needs one more to get into college. And he tells Hecate that um he tells her that I could what today. He tells Eudora that Hecate has decided to reopen her school again, and Eudora dissolves into a puddle of water, and she comes back and she's sobbing. She's so happy. Oh, bless her. You know what? She's like the cutest thing, and I adore her. And just seeing her happy, oh, it just makes me happy. I don't know what it is. She's just Adora. And he also tells her that Hecate is rehiring Eudora as her admissions director after she helps Percy get through the semester, of course, which I think is a fair deal. I mean, Eudora has a job to help Percy get the three recommendation letters, and obviously she's doing her best in that. So yeah, she can go back to being an admissions director in the school. How sweet! And Eudora gives him a big hug to show to show her gratitude. Isn't she just the cutest, guys? How can anybody not love her? She's amazing. Um, and after school, Percy goes to the cracked teapot and he sees Sally sitting at her usual table, and she gives him a big hug. He basically tells her about the quest, and Sally says that he did a great thing and that she's very proud of him. And you know what? I agree with this. She has raised a really special boy. And honestly, I couldn't be prouder of him. After everything that he's been through, he's still the same down to earth, humble, sassy, selfless hero you'll ever meet. And yeah, I'm so proud that I've gotten to grow up with him as well and watch his journey. Like it has truly been an absolute delight, and I couldn't ever be more grateful to Rick than I actually am now for bringing this hero to life, because he's changed the lives of so many people, myself included, by creating a character like Percy, and he's teaching us new things every day. And yeah, I'm so grateful to Rick and all his writing. There's just there's nobody better at this than him. Anyway, let's carry on. Getting a bit choked there. Sally asks him if he's still coming over for dinner in the evening, and he says that he's bringing Annabeth, Grover, and Juniper with him. Aw, be like a nice little family dinner. Isn't that just so cute? You know what? It's so nice that Rick puts those little family moments in as well. Like, it's just a reminder that, like, although Percy is a demigod, half is, um, l- basically half of him is a god. There's another half of him that's still human, and that's just as important as being a god, which I love. And she tells him to make sure that he does his chores before the guests arrive, obviously. And she tells him that she'll meet him at home, and he heads back to the apartment to get ready for dinner, and that's where the chapter ends. The final chapter. Oh, I'm getting sad just saying it. I don't even want this journey to end. But chapter 39 is I Get My Favourite Dessert. And the chapter opens up with Annabeth coming early to help with dinner. Oh, she's just amazing, isn't she? She's just perfect on every level, isn't she? Grover and Juniper show up an hour later for dinner, and Paul tells Percy about his week of teaching. I'm so happy that Percy and Paul have such a normal relationship. Like, it's so nice for them to just have a regular. I'm not. I know that Paul's his stepdad, but they have a really nice father and son bond, which I think is very cute. And Paul tells him that Chiron is going to be his sub while he's on jury duty. I mean, Chiron's a phenomenal teacher, and let's just say Paul has picked well for a substitute teacher. Um, Sally asks Juniper if the salad is good for her, and she says it's great. Oh, Sally is so maternal. Like, I love that she cares about every single one of them. Like, she doesn't just look at Juniper as her son's friend. Like, she treats her like a daughter. She makes her feel special and welcome. She's such a warm person. Like, I love Sally so much. Um, Percy thinks that it's cute that Grover and Juniper were laying the table together. Aw, he's such a shit, guys. It's so cute. Like, I love that he loves seeing his best friend happy and in a relationship. It's so nice. I'm sure like he feels the same way about Grover and Juniper as we feel about Percabeth. Yeah, it's so nice. It's so cute. Paul and Annabeth are talking about her latest architecture assignment. You see, like it's just like the same way Paul is with Percy, like he's with Annabeth. Like I feel like he treats her like a daughter as well, which is really nice. Like her father's never really been there for her, so the fact that she's sort of got like a father figure. Like I know that Chiron's a father figure to her as well, but like she's got a mortal father figure who's Paul, I guess, which is it's really nice that they all get along. Is all I'm saying. And then at dinner, Percy tells them about the recommendation letter and their adventures of the week. It's been a very interesting week, to say the least. Yeah, that's funny. Annabeth and Grover tell him that they will help him get that final recommendation letter. You know what? I am so excited. Like the last two journeys, like Chalice of the Gods was amazing. Wrath of the Triple Goddess was amazing. So I'm interested to see where Rick is going to take us next. Like I'm so excited. So excited. Juniper tells Percy and Annabeth that no matter where they go, their roots are where they are planted. So Percy and Annabeth's roots are there. In other words, that no matter where you go in your life, like again, it's a moral lesson that Rick is teaching us here. The roots, the foundation of who you are, stays as it is, um, and that is what makes you who you are. And you know, the lessons in this book have been beyond beautiful. As somebody like who has an appreciation for learning something when reading, I've learned so much in this book, and that line actually made me quite choked. Like, although these books are supposedly written for children, I think that adults can learn a lot as well. And I also think that that's why Rick resonates with so many people. Like, he teaches lessons that other authors can't, but he teaches them in such an he doesn't have to explicitly say it for you to understand what he's trying to say. You just know, really. And yeah, I just it's this is a beautiful book. Like it's a very beautiful piece of writing. And I can tell that it's been written with so much love for the Percy Jackson fandom, but also new people who are coming to these books. Like everybody who I speak to, like I always say Rick is my favorite author, and they're like, "Why?" I was like, "Because I always learn something. I always learn something. It's not just about like the journey and the fact that it's fantasy and I love fantasy as a genre. It's more about what he teaches, the way he words things, the character developments that he brings, the arcs that he brings, they're all just so beautiful. And yeah, I highly recommend reading his work. If you haven't read any bits of his work, like if you want to start reading and get hooked into reading, pick up a Rick Riordan book. Pick up a Percy Jackson book, and I can promise you, you will not be disappointed. I have never met anybody who has said to me that Percy Jackson is a rubbish book. Like everybody who I've spoken to, new people, old people, people who are my age, people who are slightly older than me, everybody who I've spoken to has says that these books are pure magic, and I believe in that. I really do believe in the magic of these books, and I'm so lucky to have discovered them at such a young age. Is all I'm saying. Anyway, sorry, I went on a little bit of a tangent there, but let's sort of round it off with the last couple of things that happened in the book. So, um, is this whole idea that Percy knows where he belongs, and he knows that even if he moves halfway across the country for college, this will be his home, and they wouldn't be leaving anything behind. They would just be spreading their branches and, gaining more experience. And again, that analogy is just great. Like Rick is just an absolute genius. I know like for me, I felt the same way, which was like I always worried if I moved for university that I would lose who I was and I wouldn't be the same like when I came home. But what Rick is saying is it's okay to grow. Like it's okay to change and have a new scenery around you, but that won't change the essence of who you are. Like that root, that foundation is already strong. And, if you're leaving your home, which a lot of people are so hesitant about, so am I, if I'm honest. Like, if I had a choice, I don't know if I'd be able to leave my home, but you're just broadening your horizons, really. You're just making yourself more experienced, more intelligent about what the world is. You're gaining emotional intelligence, you're learning new skills. Like, it's such a big thing and it's such a big step, but I love that Rick doesn't make it seem so daunting and so scary, even though that is a part of it. It's just that, you have to grow, otherwise you'll never learn, is what I'm saying. And it's just beautiful. Like I said, his writing is just beautiful. And the older I've gotten and the more that I've read his books again and again, the more I've learned. And, I think to some degree, like it has made me more emotionally intelligent as well. Like it has given me an understanding of people that I never had before. So yeah, I'm forever grateful to these books. And the last thing that happens at the end of the chapter, which kind of shocked me a little bit, I was blushing a little bit because I'm really awkward. Percy asks what's for dessert, and Annabeth kisses him, and let's just say that he was more than happy with that, and that's where the book comes to an end. Yeah, I blushed, guys. I don't normally do that. Like, I'm not normally like that, but I don't know, it was just, yeah, I think just that whole idea that they're growing up and things are different. And I never sort of took Annabeth for the PDA type, but yeah, it was just great and it just made me laugh, and I just love the book so much and it was great. So let's just sort of come to my final thoughts and feelings, just to sort of end this episode off a little bit. What a ride this book was. It was just, you know what? It was everything I was hoping it would be, but it was also so much more than I was hoping it would be as well, which was amazing, and I loved that. Obviously, I love the whole Percy and Annabeth sort of thing. I love that they're always checking in with each other, making sure that everything's okay. I love that he knows how to make Annabeth feel better, and I love that she is there and she's supportive of him as well. And do you know what? I've always said this. I think I'll be a Percy. For God's sake. Can you guys tell? Like, I'm exhausted. Can you tell? I can tell. I think I'll always be a Percabeth shipper, like, for the rest of my life. Like, I just don't think anybody has, like, I've never read any other fictional couple that has their standard of love. So, yeah, I'll always be a Percabeth shipper, and the moments in this book were just so beautiful. Like, I thought Rick, like, outdid himself in Chalice of the Gods, and I had this, like, little worry that the Percabeth moments wouldn't be as good as they are previously, but Rick has obviously just got a standard and he never writes anything less than that standard. You know what I thought was really funny? One of my favorite parts of this part of the book, which was the fact that Hecate turned up at 5:32 a.m. And the trio was so unprepared. Like Rick's comedic timing. I've always said this, and I'm gonna keep saying it. He is just comedy goals. He knows when to put something in that's gonna crack the audience up, and honestly, that's what it did to me. I'm so happy that Hecate accepted Nope as part of her family. I mean, how could anybody say no to him? He's the cutest, and he like calls her triple mom, and like, isn't that just the sweetest thing? Yeah, and Nope was probably my favorite new character that appeared in this story. Like, I just genuinely love him so much. Um, and Percy not only made Gale and Hecuba and Nope happy, but he also made Eudora happy as well. He got her rehired. He convinced Hecate to reopen her school, and I'm certain now that things will run a lot better than what they did. Like Percy has not just tackled like the what would you call it? I've forgotten what the word is. I don't know what the word is. Hold on one second. Yeah, I don't know what the word is, but I think I'll sort of try and word it in a way that you guys can understand. So he's sort of tackled the root cause of the problem. Like he's forced Hecate to confront her problems and deal with them as opposed to complete to still blaming everybody for what had happened. She's confronted that there was a mistake that she had made, and now she's addressed that mistake and things have gone better. So yeah, it's that whole thing of like everybody makes mistakes, but it's how you deal with those mistakes. And yeah, I couldn't be prouder of Percy at this point for everything that he's done in this book. And that family dinner scene was absolutely amazing. Like, it was nice to know that Percy knows where he belongs, and he knows that no matter where he goes in his life, his home will always be there. And you know, it was nice to just see them be normal kids. Like I think we get so caught up in the demigod aspects of life that we forget that there's a life beyond that where they're just kids and they just need to enjoy their lives. And I'm glad that they get to do that. And honestly, this Jackson Blowfist family deserves all the love and all the happiness. And I cannot wait to meet Sally's baby. Hopefully, in the next book. I cannot wait. Please, Rick, make it happen. I really wanted to meet her at the end of this book, but obviously that didn't happen. So I hope that we get to meet her in the next book. Yeah. Well, yeah, I just love them as a family. And I think it's a lesson to all of us as well that we get caught up so much in our lives. I know I do, like between university, between work. I tend to abandon like um you know, just self care things like, you know, having dinner with the family, reading, the importance of resting and to not be lost in the moment or caught up in what's going on in the outside world. You know, sometimes you just have to take a step back and just look at your life and be like, yeah, you know what? I'm actually really lucky. And I don't do that enough, but now I will. Like, I know that that's something I need to work on, and I will. And honestly, the inner peace that you'll feel after that is just beyond anything else. And I wanted to thank Rick for teaching me that because sometimes I get lost in the clouds, and I'm so worried about the future that I'm not concentrating on what is present at the moment and the people around me that I have now. They're not going anywhere, but they deserve yeah, the people that are present around me definitely deserve to be acknowledged more. So I'm going to try and do that and maybe not get so caught up in what's going on tomorrow that I forget about today. So yeah, I encourage you guys to all do the same. Yeah, like I said, so many new things learned in this as well. Um, like I said, the book was an incredible journey. And like I said, I knew it was going to be good. Like, I already knew that it was going to be great. Like, Rick never writes a bad book, but it definitely exceeded all my expectations. And I hope that on this journey with me, you guys have learned just as much as what I've learned that you can apply in real life as well. And this message is specifically for Rick. Rick, you're the best, and I love you. This book is an absolute masterpiece, and it deserves all the love. And I can tell that it has been written out of pure love as well for us Percy Jackson fans. And I'm so honored to have read it. Um, it makes me so excited for our trio's next adventure. I hope that they get that last recommendation letter, and I can't wait to see where you take us next. if you haven't read Wrath of the Triple Goddess already, I highly recommend checking it out. You won't regret it. And yeah, just a big thank you to Rick for this book. It was beautiful. It made me laugh, it made me cry, it made me emotional, it made me think. Um, and most importantly, it touched my heart. So I think that's the main thing. And next episode, we are going to be talking about the best of Percabeth in this book. So this will be, for now, the last part of that little series that I have, the best of Percabeth series, until we get the new book. And then after that, we are going to be moving on to Heroes of Olympus, which will take us through to next year. Isn't that insane? Isn't that actually insane? So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed all my reviews of Wrath of the Triple Goddess. Now they're all available for you to stream on Spotify and on my YouTube channel. Both are at Aamsuntitledpodcast. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel whilst you're there and follow me on Spotify. It would be greatly appreciated. Let me know what your favourite scenes were from this book, any favourite Percabeth moments, generic scenes, anything, any lessons that you guys have learned that maybe I haven't picked up on. Let me know. Follow me on Threads, follow me on Instagram to be the first to know when a new episode goes live, and really just to chat all things Percy Jackson. DM me on Instagram if you have any questions. Email me, whatever suits you. I'm not bothered. I do check emails and DMs as well. If you have any questions, is there anything else I need to say? Um, yeah, anybody who went to D23 in Brazil, I hope you guys had a great time. I know that we as a fandom have had a great start to this new week. Obviously with Andrade being cast as Athena, I know that I was very happy with that, and I hope that the rest of the fandom is happy too. Thank you guys so much for listening in. I really appreciate it. And I'll be speaking to you guys very soon. Mwah! Bye.